This video is sponsored by Hack the Box, but more on that later.
Okay, picture this. You pull up to your house after a long workday. You reach up to your advisor and press your trusty garage door opener, and absolutely nothing happens. You press it harder because obviously that fixes it, yet still nothing happens. You press open the plastic shell, and to your surprise, a dreaded 2032 coin cell battery. It is dead, and you do not have a plethora of cell batteries just lying around. Now you're mad. Now, you could just go to the store and buy a $4 replacement, but we need to find a permanent and completely over-engineered solution that's USB-C powered so this doesn't happen again.
Welcome back to Cyber Studies. We're actually on our way to Micro Center, the promised land, to pick up one of these Flipper Zeros. Now, fortunately, where I live, we have multiple locations, so whether or not I'm going north, south, we'll be able to pick one up. If we can't find it in one location, we'll pivot to the other. But not only are we going to solve our garage door opener situation, we're going to determine whether or not it's still important, valuable, useful to get a Flipper Zero in 2026. So as we get into this, we're going to kind of dig more into the details. Short answer, yes. Long answer is yes, plus custom firmware and hardware to unlock the full potential of this device.
If you've never been to Micro Center, it's basically Disneyland for tech people. It's a massive electronics store where you can pick up anything from PC components, monitors, networking gear, soldering tools, 3D printers, makers kits, and a bunch of other dangerous impulsive purchases. In my case, this is also where I found the Flipper Zero, which they had in stock and ready to go. Now, I'm telling you, if you go to Micro Center, don't be surprised if you catch yourself just wandering the aisles. I can get lost in there for hours on end, but anywho, let's dig into the haul we have for today. So this is the actual Flipper Zero itself. This thing is a marvel to look at. I love the packaging on it. It's super simple, yet little fun Easter eggs tucked in there. Anywho, so presenting to the top here, we are presented with a sticker. There are actually two different variants of that. We have a quick start guide, very generic, basic, USB-C to A cable. This is going to carry power and data. And then the piece de resistance, the actual Flipper Zero itself. It is a marvel how much technology they managed to cram inside of this small, compact design. It's the major appeal when it comes to the Flipper Zero itself. One thing you will find is that there are other devices out there, but nothing like the Flipper Zero. The sheer amount of technology packed inside this thing is wild. You're going to have a sub-gigahertz antenna built in, NFC, RFID, and infrared transceivers, the GPIO pins on top for external modules, and much, much more. Now, with all that being said, the Flipper Zero does not have onboard storage. If it does, it's very abysmal. So I'm going to recommend going for the 32 gig with a class 10 write speed. That write speed is going to make you go a little bit faster for your transfer and read speeds. Also, I'd recommend the Wi-Fi dev board. This is going to be an external module that adds some capability. You can then flash it with firmware and do even more cool things. Silicon case. This is going to allow you to have a little bit of protection so you don't drop it. And a couple other little gadgets and gizmos I picked up while I was there. Some GPIO jumper cables, ESP32 board. Yeah, it's whatever. We'll talk about it later. But anywho, again, there's just so many different things you can do with this Flipper Zero. There's other accessories you can buy online, like hard cases, but your amounts may vary. So now that we have all of our components, let's jump on our computer and set this bad boy up. Now, setting up your Flipper Zero could not be easier. It's super simple. Technically, you can use these out of the box, but the best industry practice is to go through and do a proper firmware update to making sure you have proper security patches, the most up-to-date applications, and just any sort of big changes in the firmware, you're going to have it day one. So what we're going to do is we're going to dive into flipper.net. Now, we're presented with, at the top of the page here, under downloads, multiple options, two options. So for firmware updates, we're looking at either the Flipper mobile app or QFlipper. QFlipper is going to be the one that we're going to use tonight, and this is what allows you to do your updates to the PC. So this is for Windows, Linux, Mac, what have you. But this is really cool because if you ever use any sort of third-party applications, you're already going to be on your computer anyways to make those transfers to your SD card. So you might as well just download it now. You have it available, and it's kind of a fun way to interact with your Flipper. So if we click here, download for Windows, you'll see it populates here. I already have it downloaded, so we'll go ahead and skip ahead to that part. Just know it's as simple as just running that exe and then just following through the steps. It could not be easier. Now, one more thing we're going to do before we get into our actual Flipper Zero is a little housekeeping. We're going to take our SD card that we got from Micro Center, and we're going to do a quick format on that. So we're just going to go into format really quick. I'm using a USB adapter and just plugging it directly into my machine. And then we're going to go into file systems where it says FAT32. Quick format will be just fine. Hit start. It's going to give us a quick prompt saying, hey, if we do this, it's going to erase anything on the device. This is a brand new chip, so we shouldn't have anything on there. Hit OK. and then we're gonna be presented with a format complete, and then we're ready to go. So once we've gone through and downloaded the actual Q Flipper software, we've formatted our SD card, we can start digging into our Flipper Zero itself. So once we've plugged it into our device, we are greeted with this really cool graphical user interface. This is Q Flipper, something very similar on your iPhone or Android device if you download that software. This is what's gonna look like on the PC. Now you'll see that whatever is actually on the display right here is actually mirrored on our Flipper Zero. So you can actually control the Flipper Zero through this software suite. But it's super cool. It shows you what firmware is currently on the device itself, your SD card, how much of it's filled up, what COM port it's actually plugged into. It's plugged in through USB in this instance. But you can actually just do everything from this software itself. But if we go into the wrench icon here, our advanced controls, you'll see that we now have a few different options. Now, if we went through and we've put some sort of firmware on here, we've botched our device. It allows us to go back into a known good state through backup or restore. If we want to download the firmware itself, what we're kind of going with in this video, we're presented with 3 different options. So we have release candidate, and development. And just think of it from stable to unstable options. So when you go into release, this is the one that's been vetted, it's been QA checked. This is one that is like known good. And you go all the way down to the bottom here, development. This is where all the cutting edge features are. If we're looking at new themes, we're looking at new applications, new user interfaces. They just haven't been tested all the way through. I have not heard a single person online complain about using development. I use it myself. And then release candidate, something right in the middle where it's like, hey, we're testing things out. This is almost ready for release. But we're going to go with development. Now, checking app updates is for the Q Flipper itself. You can do that just to make sure everything is, hunky-dory here. Not a huge deal. Just know that this is where you're going to go for your firmware. So in this instance, we're going to see under development, we actually have a new build. So we can download the firmwares from GitHub itself, or we can do it from here. And it's as simple as just clicking install. It's going to say new firmware is available. We're going to hit update, and it's just going to go through and do its thing. So we don't unplug this. We let it rock and roll for a second, and then we'll be right back. And once everything is done, we'll be greeted with a success screen. It shows on both the device as well as the screen. Now, we can continue from here. It shows there's no updates available. But if you click right here on this expansion, you will see what we see on the actual Flipper itself. I'd unplug it, but then it kind of defeats the whole point. But this is a really cool thing about the Flipper Zero is you can actually use Q Flipper or the mobile app and actually control the device entirely this way. My preferred method of using the Flipper Zero is actually keeping it in my pocket or in my backpack and then doing all the user interface through my phone. It allows you to be a little more incognito and do things with your device without just walking around with this very noticeable thing. You may recall from the news maybe, Black Hat DEF CON in Las Vegas, they've actually talked about hotel employees looking for people with these very bright white and orange devices. And if they say these things, it's like, hey, they're probably tampering with our hotel doors or messing with our security systems. So it makes you kind of high visibility by throwing it into your pocket or your backpack or your whatever, and then using the mobile app or the Q Flipper. Just way easier, plus it's a little bit less attention drawing. So now we've gone through and set up our Flipper Zero here. We can now go back to the garage and see if we can fix our garage door problem.
New from Hack the Box, the certified Wi-Fi pen testing expert. The only hands-on certification that lets you attack real wireless environments. Learn to exploit WEP, WPA2, and even WPA Enterprise. Deploy rogue access points, harvest credentials, bypass captive portals, and even exploit routers. But that's not all. You'll gain access to professional tools to compromise hardened wireless networks. Before you reach the exam, you'll complete the entire Wi-Fi penetration tester job role, providing you skills with hands-on assessments along the way. And here's the best part. One lucky viewer will win the Hack the Box Academy Gold Annual Membership, an over $1,000 value that includes access to more than 150 Academy modules, unlimited PWNbox usage, and 2 certification vouchers, including the new CWPE certification. Check the link below for your chance to enter, and we'll see you at the Academy.
CWPE certification requires successful completion of the Wi-Fi penetration testing job role path before attempting the exam. Void where prohibited. Pen test only systems you own or have explicit authorization to test. Please do not deploy rogue access points in coffee shops. Do not evil twin your roommate. Do not harvest credentials that not belong to you. Side effects of CWPE may include increased curiosity, excessive packet captures, late night lab sessions, and uncontrollable urge to say it's probably DNS even though it isn't. Please pen test responsibly. Order now. So adding a garage door opener with the Flipper Zero could not be easier. By going simply through our garage door and setting it to learning mode, and then adding the Flipper Zero as a remote, we're not going to disable a rolling code. It's going to make it way more efficient when using this on the daily. So we're going to navigate to the sub-ghz section. We're going to go down to add manually. And then I personally know that this is a Security Plus 2.0 390 megahertz protocol. So we're just going to do a quick add right there. And then with luck, we should be able to just emulate this back to the garage door, and it should work. Blocked in my region. So we're gonna have to revisit the old drawing board here because this is not gonna work. And the best way to do this is by unlocking the full potential via third-party firmware. Now with Momentum, this is gonna allow us to operate in a way that the hardware is capable, the software is just gonna enable those features. That the Flipper is more vanilla, neutral. This is gonna allow us to be chaotic good or chaotic evil. So we're gonna go ahead and install here. And then like QFlipper, this is gonna give us a web interface to the actual Flipper device itself. So we can't have QFlipper turned on. Once that's closed out, we actually can click it here. It does good. And this is our actual screen on our Flipper. Now at the top here, it's gonna say select firmware. So we can choose from these channels. Dev is what I prefer because it has the most up-to-date features. Excuse me, we do have the stable builds here. These are a little bit older, so this is from December of last year. So we're gonna do dev, we're gonna be fine with that. Right here's the TGZ, that's the compressed file itself. If you wanted to do it on your own, we're gonna just use the web client here. So just let it do its thing really quick. And it's actually gonna go through and actually install it on the Flipper itself. So just do not unplug it. It's gonna uncompress, it's gonna go through and run all of our resources. We're gonna use some quick magic here to edit through this really quick. And with any luck, everything should be working fine. We should actually get a reboot on the device itself. So once that flips over, and there it is. Look at it, it's doing its thing. This is so sick. And we are now presented with Momentum firmware. It was really that easy. It's intimidating at first. People kind of make it sound like it's a big ordeal, but it takes seconds to do this. So it's a quick little demo. It shows you how to interact with the user interface. Through here, yup, lefty mode, dark mode, whatever. Click through these, and you shouldn't see this again. This is just like the first time booting it up. Go ahead. Yep. And just like that, we're already rocking third-party firmware. And it shouldn't be too different, but we're gonna go ahead and see if we can reconnect it back. Yep. And just like that, again, this is nice. Now, the one hiccup you will experience is that if you try to go into QFlipper, it's going to try to install you on the most stable vanilla build. So your miles may vary, but once you've done this, QFlipper is nice for your phone. Just don't do any of the firmware stuff on there. It will try to revert you back to that vanilla build. So now that we have Momentum installed on our Flipper Zero, it should be as simple as just navigating to it and changing that region code. So let's go ahead and navigate to that Momentum application. We're gonna go to protocols, and then we're gonna navigate to the sub-ghz bypass regions feature. So we're gonna go ahead and enable that. We're gonna navigate back to our main screen, and then it should prompt us with a reboot here. Okay, sweet. This is actually looking like it's gonna work. Pretty simple here. All right. And so let's climb back up there. Let's put our garage door opener back into that learning configuration. So we're gonna set that right there. We're gonna go back to add manually in our sub-ghz menu. Again, it's gonna be that Security 2.0 390 megahertz for mine. And I'm just gonna throw in garage here, just keep it simple. And then with any luck, once we go into the saved here, and go into garage, once we emulate that, we should see a flicker on our garage door. So make sure that's set up properly. And oh, sick. Okay, cool. All right, cool. And then we're gonna hit send that transmit signal. And there we go. We got it. Oh man, I'm so excited.
All right, and then we're just gonna verify everything is working like it's supposed to. After all, this is our new garage door opener. So once it's down here, I'm gonna go ahead and transmit again. And there we go. All right, yeah. So with the proper tools, this is an easy fix.
But opening garage doors is just the beginning. It really doesn't scratch the surface when it comes to momentum. It truly makes it a Swiss Army knife. The viral hype around the Flipper Zero might have slowed down, but the community has not. And there's also a little bit of concern when it comes to the Flipper One, this new device that's to be released soon. But to be honest, it's just a completely different device with a completely different use case. In 2026, pairing hardware like this with custom firmware like Momentum is an indispensable tool for things like learning, penetration testing, and just getting a general feel for all the radio frequencies all around you. So make sure to hit that subscribe button to see things like custom payloads, modules, any other sort of hardware material that we can maybe make into some shorts. And if you like today's video, you're gonna wanna click the one right here. We'll show you how to install a clear Ghost shell for your Flipper Zero. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good one.